What happens when Billy Batson and his family find themselves in the crosshair of Amanda Waller and her mad dash? To punish and imprison the world's superhero community? Well, let's hop into the pages of Absolute Power Task Force VII issue number 1 and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, so it's the first big tie into Absolute Power, and what do we got going on here? Amanda Waller is in her Gamoran base, where we can see that she has already managed to arrest several very prominent superheroes. She's also now setting her sights on Mary Marvel and the Captain. Yes, that's right, you heard me right, the Captain. One of Mark Waid's new things over in the Shazam book is very cheekily getting to call him Captain Marvel again. Waller is ready to dispatch the last son, the Amazo robot, who just so happened to steal away the super family's powers, and hey, keeping with the Superman theme, Waller has decided to assist the last son by allowing him to use Rudy Joan the Parasite as a kind of superpower bloodhound to track down the kids wherever they might be hiding. Again, this book is actually kind of a continuation to something that happened in the Wonder Woman series. Both Mary and Billy had been attacked by another one of the Amazo robots, and had some of their power stolen away. In fact, they probably would have been drained completely if Diana didn't step on in to protect them. Now the kids have returned to the Rock of Eternity in hopes of finding some magical artifacts to give them an edge in the upcoming fight with the Amazo League. Only here's the problem though, they're kind of between a rock and a hard place, no pun intended. They know if they try and activate their powers again and take on their super forms, it's only a matter of time before Waller and the Amazos track them down. They also have to deal with, get this, Dinosaur Accountant, whose job it is to catalog all the amazing souvenirs at the Rock of Eternity because, well, Shazam under Mark Waid is just that kind of book. The kind of far-out golden age of comics wackiness where a talking dinosaur in a suit vest asks you to fill out a bunch of paperwork so you can have your artifacts to save the world. It's here the good guys end up coming under attack by the last son, who with the help of Parasite managed to track the kids back to the Rock of Eternity. This might very well have been curtains for Mary Marvel and the Captain were it not for the surprise intervention of Black Adam, who has come here not to protect the children, but to protect the Rock from Waller and her evil machinations. Figuring quite correctly that it's probably not a good idea for a woman so evil to gain control over a source of magical power so amazing and potent. This actually ends up being a pretty damn solid matchup too. After all, Black Adam has fought different members of the Superman family quite adequately in the past, and as such he is well equipped to do battle with the last son robot. In fact, it's actually Adam here who ends up making a rather interesting observation, one that will probably end up being important in the rest of Absolute Power, and that is when the Amazos absorbed all of the superhero community's amazing powers, they also ended up absorbing pieces of their personality, and in Superman's case, even his morality, meaning that the robot stops and malfunctions for a little bit after being forced to do all this very unsupermanly stuff. Unfortunately, Black Adam can't hold out forever as the Amazo robot does what it does best and just absorbs his power too. This puts Billy and Mary in a rather interesting position. Do they leave one of their most hated foes behind, or do they actually circle back and try and help him? Billy, nice guy that he is, does think about going on in to make the save, only in the time he's mulling it over, the last son ends up grabbing him too. Mary seemingly escapes by kicking over a bunch of dinosaur accountants' filing cabinets. Now, believe it or not, it's after that this issue ends up completely changing gears as we end up switching focus over to Steve Trevor, longtime love interest and ally of Wonder Woman, as well as high-ranking American military officer. It seems that Waller has activated Trevor in hopes of keeping him close to her in her operations on Gamora, so he can't end up becoming an informant for the superhero community and undermining her, though Steve most definitely wants to undermine this operation, especially after seeing the likes of Billy in a prison cell. Ultimately, it's revealed that it wasn't actually Waller who called Trevor here today, but actually Sarge Steele, one of the major villains over in the current Tom King Wonder Woman book. Steele tries to big dick Trevor, saying that he works for him now, but to Steve's credit, he ends up standing his ground and telling Sarge to get bent. And it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everybody. And so that was Absolute Power Task Force VII issue number 1, and ultimately it was fine, if a little bit thin. Outside seeing that the Amazo robots occasionally malfunction, I don't feel like I walked away from this issue exactly learning anything new or interesting that's going to help me better understand the rest of Absolute Power. For what it's worth, I guess it was nice to be reminded about some of the fun stuff that's happening happening over in the Shazam book. I know I dropped off on that one pretty early, which is a shame because it looks like a fun mix of genres and tones we don't often see in superhero comics anymore. I guess it's also nice that Steve Trevor looks to be a major player in this moving forward. Feels like DC just kind of forget Steve exists for huge swaths of time, which is a shame because he can certainly be useful, definitely in stories like this, that's for sure. The next issue is apparently going to focus on Atlantis, and I guess I'll check that one out too. Overall, though, I would end up giving this one a 6 out of 10. Nothing exactly objectionable, but also nothing I would really recommend either.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.